In this video, we're going to talk about the 2019 Pearson Business Studies paper. So, this paper is taken from the summer series. The topic for today is about the HR function. So please subscribe to our channel and give a thumbs up. So I have put the question here, A and B, the answer, and also the exam report. Okay, so we can have a better understanding. So it talks about the company now sells shoes to men and children as well as ladies. So we have to talk about, first of all, the fringe benefits. So fringe benefits, we have to give examples. Say for example, discount off about the shoes, or they can get a qualification. So remember the question state, okay, so you have to give example, but you do not need to do the application, okay? But only 1/5 of the students can do it. For part B, we have to talk about the benefit using the off-the-job training. So of course, we have to give examples about off-the-job training, like the training, receive training colleagues. So these are, examples of off-the-job training. In the exam report, it talks about that a lot of students, only at 1/10, they can identify the benefit. Okay, so remember, for the state question, you do not need to be in context in the given business. Okay, so let's move on to the next section. For part C, we have to explain why a lot of business they have the human resources functional area. So of course, it's about recruitment, right? Recruitment, okay, why do we need to do recruitment? Because there's vacancy and we have to find the right person to fill it. This is quite easy, but a lot of students, they cannot do it well. Say for example, they identify the reason, okay, but they could not, gain more than 1 mark, okay? So you have to be careful that, a reminder that explain questions does not need to be in context, okay? So you should give a full explanation of the reasons. For part D, we have to explain, okay, the above 9, promotion from part C. So this one is referred to the part C that we've just mentioned. So in the answer, it talks about we can make use of the television advertising, okay? So because there are a large number of people and it will increase the sales. In the exam report, a lot of students, they can just gain 2 marks, okay? Because they do not, they have a lack of knowledge and the lack of knowledge, okay, of the methods, okay? And some students, they even confused with the employee being promoted, okay? So this is not about the employee being promoted. This 9 promotion is about business promotion. It's not about, HR. For part E, we have to explain how the product life cycle can be expanded. So it's not that difficult, right? So first of all, we have to define, product life cycle, and then we have to give some, examples. So let's take a look at the answer. We can change the packaging, okay, also adding extras, okay. So this would call repeat the purchase. So that's very, very important, and you have to mention repeat the purchase. And the exam report, okay, so a lot of students, they just list it without, you have to extend your answer, okay, beyond just listing it. For those who cannot do the explanation, 1 mark is the maximum. So let's move on to the last part of this question. So for part F, we have to compare the bonus payment and the job enrichment. So for the level 2, first of all, we need to give the definition of these two, okay, of these two stuff. So let's take a look. For the bonus, of course, it's about who have to achieve the highest shoe sales. For the job enrichment, it's about the responsibilities, okay? And then let's move on to the level 3. So for the level 3, we have to talk about the advantages of using bonus and the job enrichment. For the bonus, they would work harder and compete against with each other. But on the other hand, for job enrichment, they will have opportunity to use their abilities, because they trust with the responsibilities. So for level 4, we have to do the evaluation. So for for bonus, they may become demotivated if they cannot achieve the result. For for job enrichment, some of the people, they may demotivated. Say for example, the people with theory X, okay. So for those people, okay, they won't like it, okay. So we have to do the evaluation. In the exam report, it talks about some students, they do not expense their answer making use of the case, okay. You have to explain the answer making use of the case. Some students, they cannot conclude their answer to balance the justification, so that's why you need to do it. I would like you to subscribe to the channel and give a thumbs up to this video. Thank you. In this video, we are doing the Pearson Business Studies. We are making use of the 2019 summary paper. This is the IGCSE level. And the topic for today is about a break-even analysis. And also the sources of finance. Now in this video, I've put a question here, the answer, and also the exam report. Okay, please subscribe to our channel and give a thumbs up to this video. Let's take a look part A. We have to define the term profit. That's very easy, right? It's about the differences between the total revenue and the total cost. But I would say it's quite easy, but some candidates, they're getting the terms confused with sales. So I would like you to be careful. In part B, we have to outline the impact when the interest rate increase. Of course, it's about the cost of lending, right? So there will be a decrease in sales, okay, because the customers, okay, they spend less time on the luxury, okay. They have to pay it to the lenders. So so remember, you need to give an answer that is in the context of the Backyard Shoez. It's because there are some candidates, they just try to explain what were interest rate, but they do not refer back to the Backyard Shoez. Okay, you should talk about the impact. Okay. So let's take a look part C. So we have to compute the break even. Okay. So the so how to do the break even? I would like to do the formula. So for the break even, we have to do the fixed cost in the denominator, and then over the price minus the cost. So this would be the this is the formula for the break even. So so let's take a look the answer. So for the answer, first of all, we will have the fixed cost in the denominator, and then we will have the selling price in the denominator, and also we will have the cost, okay, the variable cost here. Okay, so this one is about the variable cost. So so this is it. Okay, so you can, and then after you do the calculation, remember to put down the unit. This one is about the unit. Okay, so this is about the unit. So in the in the answer, only half of the candidates know how to do the break-even point. Okay, so remember, you have to understand the the formula. Remember, this is the variable cost. Now in part B, part D, right? In part D, we have to make use of the break-even analysis. Okay, so we have to take a look. Okay, what are the advantages and disadvantages? So these, so if you want to get level 2, so let's take a look at the right-hand side. So we have to see if the needs to sell. Okay, the needs, and what if, okay, what if price changes or other changes? Say for example, the cost changes. Okay, so how would it, affect the break-even point? So this is the usefulness of the break-even advantages. For level 3, it here I would like to highlight this sentence. If they would know if they are breaking even or moving to a profit. So you can make use of this concept. Is called the margin of safety. So let's take a look at the last point. So this one, it talks about, okay, you can, make use of the break-even analysis to, formulate your pricing strategy. Whether you want to raise or lower the price to make it more competitive. So this is for the answer. I would like you to take a look at the exam report. Okay. The exam report, it talks about candidates, there were disadvantages when they cannot apply it to the Backyard Shoez. Okay. So when you try to apply it, okay, you have to state the figures like the 1 to 5. Okay. So to do it, let's go to the last part of this question. In part D, we have to compare two options, that is a crowdfunding and overdraft. We have to take a look, okay, which one should Backyard Shoez should use. So let's take a look at the marking guide now in the right hand side. First of all, we have to give a definition of both crowdfunding and an overdraft. Okay, say for example, crowdfunding is about raising the finance, but on the other hand, overdraft is about it would be, overdraft is about a temporary facility. Okay, so this one I would say you have to make it very clearly. The overdraft is a kind of liability. So if you need to go to level 3, then we have to talk about the advantages and disadvantages. For option 1, okay, for crowdfunding, okay, we need to pay the investors with the products. Okay, but on the other hand, for overdraft, okay, we need to pay the interest. Okay, so for number 3, we have to talk about the cost of the option. So that is for crowdfunding, it will be about the product. For overdraft, it would be about the interest payment. Okay, for level 4, we have to talk about the disadvantages. Say for example, crowdfunding will be very high risk because you might not succeed to get it. Okay. On the other hand, for the overdraft, okay, it's about the bank. Okay. So here, so you have to compare these two. Okay. You have to compare these two. Let's take a look at the exam report. So the exam report, it talks about that 1/5 of the candidate, okay, they gain no marks, okay, because they just talk about one options. Okay. So a lot of students, they can get to level 3, but they have not linked it up together to give the evaluation in their answers. Okay, so you have to judge, okay, which one would be better. Okay, say for example, okay, let me do it with you. Okay, for the evaluation part, I won't pick crowdfunding because it's fair. Okay, for Shoez, it's very unlikely to get the investor support because it's not an innovative product. Okay, to get adequate financial support from crowdfunding. Okay, so I would pick overdraft. Okay, so that's all for this video. Remember to give up a thumbs up and also subscribe to our channel. Please give a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Now, in this video, we are using the 2019 summer paper. So we're talking about the Pearson business studies subject. The topic for today is about the financial analysis and marketing research. Now in this video, we've put the question here, the answer here, and also the exam report here. So let's take a look at the question. So in the first question, we have to compare the markup. So we have the cost here, and the price would be here. So first of all, we have to work out the gross profit. So the gross profit would equal to the price minus the cost. So and then we can grab 800 as the gross profit. Next, we have to put the gross profit in the denominator. Indeed, some of the students may not know how to do the markup. As you can see in the Excel report, it talks about there are some candidates they are not able to compute the markup because they have no idea what are the steps. Okay, so remember, you need to study it well for the formula. So the formula for the markup is put the gross profit on the denominator and put the cost, okay, in the denominator. In part B, it's about the usefulness of the profitability ratios to the company. So first of all, there are a few profitability ratio like the gross profit and the net profit. So we can make use of the gross profit ratio and the net profit ratio to use it for business analysis. So for level 2, it talks about we can take a look how much profit we made. Okay, like the net profit and the gross profit. Gross profit and net profit. For but the candidate can talk about this will give investor the wage do they receive up investment compared to the risk. So this is for the level 3. Okay, it's about the usefulness for the Backyard Shoez. Okay, it's not just about the business but also the investors. In the exam report, it talks about 1/3 of the candidate did not give mark to this question because they have no idea what is profitability ratio. Okay, so to do it, okay, you have to link up. Okay, you have to link it the information to the given out the business throughout the paper. In the last part, okay, we have to evaluate the importance of the primary market research. So in the marking guidelines, it's a 12-mark questions. First of all, we have to give examples of primary market research. Say for example, the questionnaire and the focus group. So these are examples of primary research. Now, there are methods other than questionnaires and focus group. Say for example, you can do survey or interview. So these are other kinds of examples of primary research. So this is the first thing we have to do. We have to give examples. The next steps, okay, we have to talk about the advantages of the primary research. That is, we can speak directly to our customers. Okay, so this is a comparison to second-hand research. So for the second-hand research, we cannot talk to the customers of the business directly. So this is a comparison to the second-hand. So if you want to go to level 3, then we have to talk about the advantages. So that is, okay, after we're talking to our customers, we can find out exactly how can we meet the way of the need. There's one more example when we talk about the focus group. Okay, so we can, for this focus group, okay, we can have qualitative data which can help with the design of the new shoes. So this is for the third one. For the third one, we have to talk about the advantages to the backyard, to the company, okay, to the Backyard Shoez, okay, like development of new product. So let's go to level 4. For level 4, we have to do the evaluation. For example, we have to, okay, it's quite time consuming to do it. Say for example, you compare, this one is to compare with the second hand. Okay, compare to second hand, like you recruit the data from the market. Okay, it's compare the second hand research. Also, we have to talk about the advantages of using secondary hand research. This is the advantages of second hand. Let's say, for example, so if we use the second hand research, then we can obtain the information on the competitors and the suppliers. So this would be the advantages of the second hand research. So in the exam report, it talks about, okay, a lot of students, they have made the attempt, but 1/3 of the candidate, they just get into the level 2. Some candidates, they're quite still, but they do not make reference to the company. Okay, for the level 3 students, they can do talk about how the business can use the primary research, like to do the new product development, but they do not give a balanced answer. Okay, so remember, when you try to complete this question, please, okay, make reference to the backyard stores. Okay, and also you need to provide a full large judgment related work. Okay, say for example, you have to talk about the limitation, like time consuming. So that's all for this video. Remember to subscribe our channel and give a thumbs up. Please subscribe to our channel and give a thumbs up to this video. Now in this video, we are going to talk about the Pearson Edexcel. So this paper is taken from the 2019 summer series. Okay, we picked this question from paper 2. Now I've put down the data, the question, part A and part B, the answer, and also the exam report. So let's take a look. Part A, we have to state one non-financial objective. Say for example, as you can see in the case, they would like to, they have the role in the community development. So this is, working with the community. That would be 1 mark. So in the exam report, it talks about some of the students, the objectives identified are not related to the business, so they do not gain the mark available. So I would say in this, when you try to do this question, you have to take a look at the data. Okay, you have to take a look at the case. That's very important. Let's take a look part B. We have to give the reason why they employ 𝐿 employees. So think about it. For 𝐿 employees, it would be about to replace the long-term, the long-term staff. So that's why they use of the 𝐿 staff. So in the exam report, it talks about less than 10% getting the mark available, because I would say a lot of students, they cannot refer to the scenario. The scenario is that it's a very, very large company. Okay, it is the largest company with a lot of countries. So that's why they need casual staff for the replacement. For part C, we have to explain one reason that the company, why would they need make use of the fringe benefits. So 1 mark for the identification. That is for, of course, it's about the motivation. So next, we have to have 2 marks for explaining the benefits. Okay, say for example, increasing productivity and sales. Okay, in the exam report, it talks about the student, they do not explain. So so, and also you do not have to do it in the contest, so you don't have to look at this case. Let's take a look part D. For part D, we have to explain the reason why business will use job production. So for the meaning of job production, that is used to produce a unique piece of work. So first of all, we need to give the definition of job production. Next, we have to talk about the advantages, that is to meet the exact need of the customers. So this would be the advantages. Okay, and the reason behind is that to meet the need of the customers. Okay, we need time and skills of the employee. So this would be the reason. Okay, the reason, or you may say it would be the rationale behind that why job production will be adopted. unfortunately, most of the candidates cannot get the answers. Okay, so some of the students, they understand what is the meaning of job production, but they did not justify why they would need skilled workers. So that's I would say a lot of students didn't understand this one. Some students give an example, what job production use, and even if an example may not be feasible. So remember, I would like you to study this one, as nearly half of the students, they cannot get marks. Let's take a look at part D. So we have to talk about the benefit of short chain of command. So let's grab the answer. So first of all, we have to give the definition. So the definition would be they have, the managers, communication between the workers and the manager will be less. So next we have to talk about the advantages. So this would be the advantages. The choice of the messages taken being misunderstood, the chances will be lower. This would be the advantages. Okay. So and also another advantages would be that the managers, they can save time. Okay. Yeah, they can sort it out quickly. So this is advantages number 2. So for the green one is advantages number 1. So there are the 2 advantages. Please, okay, do not, okay, if you give 3 commands, okay, 3 benefits without explanation will be maximum 1 mark. Okay. So please, and I would say here, for the most candidates, they can develop their answers. In the last part, part F, we have to justify cost plus or promotional pricing strategy would be better. So let's take a look at the answer on the right top corner of this video. So first of all, we have to give the definition of both pricing strategy, that is the cost plus approach, and also the promotion approach. We have to give the definition. For the cost plus approach, is about the cost with the markup. Okay. For the promotional approach, is to sell new vehicles. So that means we would do it in a cheaper way. Okay. Let's go to the level 3. So for the level 3, then we will, for the cost plus approach, of course, it's about making money, right? So that means profit. For the promotional approach, we are not focusing on the money, but the sales volume. So in the level 4, we have to do the evaluation. For the first one, for the cost plus approach, it does not guarantee the sales. Okay, it does not guarantee the sales. On the other hand, for for this one, the profit will be lower. It does not guarantee the profit. So as you can see, when we do the evaluation, indeed, in A04 we have to do the evaluation. So we can make use of the A03. Make use of the A03 to do the evaluation. As you can see, what I highlight. Now, let's take a look at the exam report. So the exam report, it talks about a lot of candidates. They try to give details, okay, detailed description of these options, okay, but these are knowledge, but they do not gain marks, okay. So students should, full understanding that cost plus approach ensure they make a profit, whereas proportional approach will not make, as much as profit, but it aims for the sales volume. So I would say that would be very important. Now, thanks for watching the video. Remember to subscribe to our channel and give a thumbs up to this video. Thank you. Now, please subscribe to our channel and give a thumbs up to this video. Now, in this video, we're talking about the Pearson Edexcel GCSE Business Studies. So this paper is taken from 2019, the summer series. The subject is business studies. This is a paper 2 question, and the topic for today will be about financial analysis, including ratio, and also we will talk about the marketing research for paper 2, the large company. So I have put the question here, and then I've put the question here, and also the answer and the exam report. So let's take a look part A. We have to define the term revenue. So of course it's about the income over time, right? Income over time, okay? Or you may do the formula like this: price plus sales. But some candidates refer revenue as the good produce not actually sold, okay? So that would be very stupid. For part B, okay, we have to give the reason why the company would use overdraft. So first of all, we have to define overdraft. It's about to overcome the shortfall in funds. So because they need funds available to purchase the additional tribes, okay? Now I would like you to be careful that you do not, okay, describe, do not need to describe what is overdraft it, okay? If you do like this, you cannot get any marks, okay? So be careful, okay? Let's take a look part C. So we have to compute the percentage increase in revenue. That's very easy, right? So the formula will be like this. The new one, I will put down the formula in the right top corner of this video. So the new one minus the old one over the old one times 100%. So that would be, the formula. So let's take a look. So this is the new one. This is the old one. So you make use of the differences to divide the old one. Then you can grab the answer. Now in the exam report, it talks about that a lot of candidates, they haven't shown their workings. So you're advised to show your workings. And a lot of number of students, they did not give responses to the 2 decimal places, okay? So I would like you to, be very careful about the 2 decimal places required by the question. Let's take a look part D. So we have to analyze, okay, how can the company make use of these figures. So let's take a look. First of all, we have to describe the figures. That is, the revenue has increased revenue over the time. That's very easy to see. Next, they can make use of these figures to do the comparison with the other manufacturer. So I would like you to mention this point in your answer. Okay, you can do comparison. Now for level 3, you have to talk about the future. Say for example, they can make use of it to invest in designing and manufacturing new cars, or adjusting the price is in revenue. So for the AO3, for the level 3 one, you have to focus on the long-term development and planning. Planning, or we will call it long-term horizon or effect. Yeah, so let's take a look at the exam report. So in the exam report, it talks about that a lot of students, they would, they just gain no mark in this question because a lot of them, they did not make use of the figures from the table, okay, which can help them to gain the AO2 mark, okay. So let's take a look how to use the figures. For example, you can talk about there are increase in the revenue year on year. And also, if you recall, they are the largest makers in many countries. So they have to take a look, okay, whether they would manufacture new cars. Let's move on to the last part of this question. Okay, we have to just determine whether primary or secondary research would help to promote its vehicle. So let's take a look at the answer in the right top corner. For level 2, okay, first of all, we have to define very clearly about what is the meaning of primary research and secondary research. We have to put down the definition. So for level 3, then we have to talk about the advantages of both primary and secondary research. So for primary research, it would be about, okay, we can get information that are relevant to our study. And for secondary research, okay, the timing won't be so long. So this one would, okay, for the advantages, we'll focus on this one is focus on the quality. And this one will be focused on the cost of obtaining information. So that's of there are the two different focuses of primary and secondary research. For level 4, we have to do the evaluation. For example, the evaluation will be like this, right? So for the primary research, the evaluation is that it will be quite difficult and take a long time to obtain the the information. On the other hand, for the second hand, the information connected might not be relevant. So you can see it's not difficult at all to compute the answer and to do the evaluation. It's not difficult at all. So I would like you to put that down. For this one, AO4, we have to do evaluation. So this evaluation, you can make use of the advantages to do the comparison from the AO3. Now, read the exam report. It talks about a lot of students, they just describe for it, but they haven't make them unable to evaluate these options. So I would like you to go back to the case. Okay, so in the case, it talks about that the company is the goal of the company is to produce goods at the proper need about what they want. So this is a very, very important. So you may take a look. How can the health, the welfare of local people, which I would say the primary research would serve as a better purpose to obtain such kind of information. So you have to do it in the evaluation part. Okay. So that's all for this video. I would like you to subscribe to our channel and give a thumbs up to this video. Thank you. So in this video, we are going to do the IGCSE. So the exam board we're talking about is Pearson. The subject is business studies. And today, the topic that we are going to talk about is expanding large business. So I've put the question here, the answer, and also the exam report. So in the part A, we need to compare the average number of vehicles sold. So let's take a look. We have 9 million cash sales, so we put it here, and then we have 6,000 car showrooms. So we'll use the division, then we can grab the answer. So remember, you are encouraged to induce your workings. Let's take a look part B. So we have to analyze why the company need to ensure the staff they will have a detailed induction program. So first of all, we need to define what is the meaning of induction program. So that is, they will make familiarized with the working environment. So they will also introduce to the staff they're working with. Okay, say for example on the production line, as this is a training company for cars. So indeed, for induction program, I would say it's a kind of program that welcome the new staff. Okay, how to welcome the new staff. So this is for level 2. Okay, we have to talk about the theory. For number 3, it talks about the advantages or the benefits. Of course, the first one is about they will feel part of the company. They will feel more settled and more welcome and productive. So this is the advantages. But in the exam report, it talks about some candidates refer to this one. Okay, how about the benefits of selling cars and knowing what? Okay, but this is not relevant to the response. Okay, so we have to make application. Okay, we're looking for the application. Say for example, let me do one more example with you. So when you go to the case, you can see that they have employed a lot of employees in the world. Okay, so they should there are a lot of things they need to understand. Okay, so they want to get familiarized with the company culture. So that's very important for the new staff. Let's move on to the last part of this question. for C, we have to evaluate the factors that the company need to take into account when they are making decisions whether they would, where to locate their new factories. So let's take a look the 4 levels. So in the first level, in the right top corner of the video, so we have to talk about they have to find, places with skilled labors, okay, and also they can be accessible so that the deliveries that can be made. If you recall, it's a kind of trading company, so of course, okay, they need to do the delivery. Next, for number 2, for level 2, we have to do it with the elaborate further about skilled labors, as this is a company for cars and trucks, okay, and also we have to talk about motorways, okay, so that we can deliver the the motor cars, okay, in an appropriate manner. So for level 1, it's about theory, okay, how to find the good places. For level 2, you have to do the application, that is to apply the case to our answer. So let's go to level 3. So for level 3, it talks about the advantages of nearing the skilled labors. The advantages is that, of course, is to reduce the overall cost, okay, and there will be also a continuous supply of the materials and the finished vehicle. This finished vehicle, we call it, or you may call it finished good in manufacturing account, okay. So the finished goods can be transported to the place for sales. Now go to D, okay, go to D. Of course, we have to do the evaluation. Say for example, the cost of such land or infrastructure may be higher, okay, and there are other factors that are important. So this is what we need to do the evaluation. Say for example, the raw materials, labor, and land, okay, and these are criteria that we need to judge. Yep, and in the exam report also talks about, hey, if you use the bullet points, then they won't give you high marks, okay, because you haven't analyzed or you evaluate the point made. So so in the level 4, remember that you have to do the evaluation part. This is very important if you want to gain the highest level in the essay part. So this is the end of this video. Remember to give a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.